Okay, so I call this 5 ways to get started in Command. They are very basic. So if you are, a little bit better at Command, they might be a little bit redundant, but I do add in 3 things to make your life easier that are a little bit more advanced. So to get started, the best place if you are brand new to Command is to update your marketing profile. So this is something that stems into every aspect of Command. And if you if you change this one thing, it's going to transport to like your agent site anytime you ever want to make a landing page, and it just kind of saves you some time. So your marketing profile, if I come into Command, just agent.kw.com, I'm going to get logged in. Now I'm on my home page, so I'm going to come up to my name, drop down, and go into settings. And then it is under connect settings. You'll see your marketing profile. So this is pretty easy to keep up to date. It's just things like your headshot, your information, your job title, bio. This is where if you do have a military affiliation, you can drop down and choose whichever applies to you. Your mobile phone, office phone, email, website, all of our market center information. Any like legal footer text, legal footer images, and then your social medias. So even though a lot of this stuff doesn't change very often, it's still good to keep kind of tabs on this. Definitely update your bio as needed. And just so you kind of just make sure that use my information to brand my agent site is toggled on. But if you upload your headshot here, you pretty much won't have to do it anytime you are ever working in Command. So it just saves you some time. I will say don't upload anything in this team logo if you don't want it there, because at the time being, there's not a way to delete it out. You can delete it manually when you're like creating your agent sites, but I added that in, can't get it out. So they used to have an option for deleting, but I'm kind of just stuck with it for now, which is fine. Number 2 is connect applications. So this is within your settings. You definitely want to make sure your DocuSign is connected. I also recommend Facebook, but you can connect your Gmail, you can connect Twitter, anything like that. So I'm going to once again drop down and go into settings. So DocuSign should be the very first one, and you want it to look like mine. You should have an email here and it should say connected. I have my Facebook connected. You can connect Dotloop, Twitter, Google Calendar, Gmail. It's kind of the same thing for all of these. You'll click on connect account and it's going to prompt you to log in and just kind of give Keller Williams permission to use those. So this is pretty simple, but if you want to do anything like Facebook ads, it's nice to have your Gmail connected because you all have Gmail. If you have a Keller Williams email account, you have Gmail. But when you're looking in your contact card, you can see every email that was ever sent with that person if you connected in here. So that's definitely nice. Twitter, if you want to do Twitter ads, you have Command email, and you can also connect to Twilio in your settings. So I'm not subscribed, but if you do want the power to send text messages through Command, you can subscribe in Marketplace and choose whichever plan you want. They are pretty cheap. I believe the cheapest is like $3.99 a month. Definitely check out the settings. You can also connect more apps. There are some things you can pay for. This will take you over to the Marketplace. You're not going to have Dotloop as a default in here. That's something that I pulled in from the Marketplace, but there is an option to kind of explore other things that you can connect in Command, and it's pretty cool. Number 3 is add contacts. So at the core of Command, it is a CRM. So whatever kind of the basis, if you know them, they should be in your contact database. Using tags is recommended, but this is your database. So whatever helps you is what you should be utilizing. So I'm just going to go back to my home page. And then contacts is your second one down. So kind of without contacts in here, you really don't have a whole lot to work with. You can, of course, use Command. You can use other things. You can use designs without having contacts. But this is what it's built for. It's built to house your contacts so you can, take them, you can run smart plans, you can send them emails, you can keep track of them. There are ways to mass import them. So if you're kind of in a position where you have like a ton of people in your Gmail or in your phone, there are ways to get them out and you can mass import them. You can download, it's a pre-made CSV file and you basically just plug it in. I do this every so often with the phone roster and I can use that to just mass upload instead of going one by one. If you do have kind of a file like this, Scott Leroy will do it for you. So if you want to send him over your login information and whatever contacts you have, they'll go in and do it for you. So it kind of saves you a step. Otherwise, you just hit add contact, fill in as much information as you have. At the bare minimum, I would recommend name, email, phone number. You can go into add more information and under additional contact information, I definitely recommend putting in their primary address if you know it. That way it'll make it easy to add them to like a biweekly neighborhood nurture. It just gives you some more information about them. You can also do custom. So anything, I added in like budget, favorite restaurant, favorite sports team, pet name, anything you want to use to keep track of that contact and kind of keep tabs on them, you do have the ability. You can add custom field and just put in, you know, whatever you want. And then about, if you want to add in their birthday, home anniversary, relationships, work, you can really keep track of a lot of information. And then your tags are in here. So you do have the ability to create custom ones, but like at the bare minimum, if you want to keep track of buyers versus sellers, it's definitely going to help you in the long run.
How do you create the custom tag?
So I believe you can just type it in. Anything that you can suggest.
Well, that's the custom field, but up there as far as the tags, like,
That's what's worse. I typed in past client, create custom tag.
okay.
I can choose the color for it. So if I want that one to be purple, then I can click add.
Okay.
So just type it in. There is also a place in your settings, I believe, that you can keep track of all of your custom tags. So if you decide you don't want one anymore, you can just delete it out. Number 4 is know where to find your URLs. So you have an agent site, you also have an agent app. It's good to know what both of these are. In Command, these are both found within the consumer applet. So if I click on this, what you're going to first go to is your agent site page. So whatever is right here, that is your agent site URL. So it is a live one. You can go to it. It will show you your URL. You're not going to have as many drop downs as me. I really just use this for like training purposes, but you can see what your website looks like. Definitely keep note of what this is. You can do things like add it to your email signature, put it on your business cards, whatever, but you need to know what your agent website is. For your app, if I go into site and app settings, and then URLs, this right here is my unique app URL link. So if I copy this and if I like make a Facebook post with this and try and get people to download my app, as long as they download the app for the first time using this link and create an account for the first time, it will be branded to me and they will automatically be added into my contacts as a lead. So definitely keep that in mind. If you have the app downloaded to your phone, there is an easier way to share it other than kind of keeping track of this, but this is pretty simple. You can just copy and then I could go over to Facebook and make a post and paste it in there and see if I can get, but you can share this as well. This is something else you can also add to your email signature, give it to your family and friends, get them to share it. It doesn't matter if they're local or not, they can still search for houses on your app. Number 5 is add your NERDS ID to DocuSign. So you must, this is a pretty new thing, you must have a NERDS ID entered in your preferences in order to access the NCIR forms. So this is found within your DocuSign preferences. So if I go into DocuSign, I can go directly there, rooms.docusign.com. Let's hope I can get into my account. Okay. Go away. So to do this, and you can tell if you have it integrated or not. Like if I go into one of my rooms in my documents, if I try to open up this exclusive buyer agency form, it's going to tell me it couldn't load my form. If I go to add in DocuSign forms, let's see. It's going to say no access to all of these, your typical documents that you're used to using. I, of course, can access all of the Keller Williams ones and also the coming soon addendum and Gen X from LPR, but I won't have access to any of the contracts that you're typically used to. To change this, you'll either have your photo if you've uploaded one, or I believe you have initials. If you click on it and drop down and go into preferences, and then go into integrations. So you want to add provider, and then it is going to be the National Association of Realtors. Your NERDS number will go right here. So it is 9 digits, unique to you. If you don't know it, you can click find your NERDS ID and you can search either by, I think, last name or license number and pull that in. Your last name has to match what's on your real estate license. And then the association, if you scroll, let's see, we are looking for North Carolina Association of Realtors. You would then hit validate, and then you would have access to all of those forms. So every agent has a NERDS number. If you're brand new, unfortunately, you're not going to have one. It does take, we call it the association. Once you join them, you'll get your NERDS number 2 weeks after that. So if you're in the position where you're brand new and you don't have the ability, you need to write a contract right now, definitely get in contact with Renee. She has kind of these forms saved that she can send to you until you get your NERDS number. Once you get that, just pop it in here, validate, and it will add it in under your providers, and then you'll have access to all of the forms. So that's kind of my 5 basic ways to kind of make your life easier. So for more of the fun ones, Facebook posts and designs. So if you ever need Facebook post inspiration, I always recommend checking out designs because there's so much in there. You can even schedule posts within campaigns, so you can schedule content ahead of time. So I'm going to walk you through how you can do that, and I'm going to schedule a Veterans Day post to go out today. You could also use this to do Thanksgiving posts, really anything. If you want to get more into like social media posting, you can take one day out of the week, one day out of the month, and schedule all of your posts for the month ahead of time. It definitely save you some time. If you're not very good at social media, but you have, a few hours on a Sunday to do this, I definitely recommend it. So I'm going to go into designs because I need to pull my Veterans Day, what I want to use as my post. So I'm going to create design. And since these are going to be on Facebook, I'm going to choose the social one because those are all formatted and sized for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, things like that. So an easy thing to always do for if you need an easy Facebook post, come into holidays, and this is new. They're now divided by month. So if I go into November, you have sizing up at the top. So you have stories. So for your Instagram stories, Social Square works well for both Instagram and feed post and Facebook. And then social wide is usually strictly for Facebook. So I'm just going to choose Square just to kind of narrow it down. But everything that is a holiday in November, you will have options in here. So there was even like a daylight saving time ends that you could have posted. There's Christmas one. I'm not Christmas. This is Thanksgiving. There's Thanksgiving ones, Veterans Day, Hanukkah, anything you want to post, you have the ability. So for Veterans Day, I think I'm going to use this one, the Happy Veterans Day. So whichever one I want, I'm going to hover over and click use. And all you need to do with this, skip that, is one, either click on this and choose whatever logo you want to replace it with. So if I wanted to use this as, I can replace it with our logo. And you have kind of a few options from here. I could replace that and just download it as a JPEG, and it will allow me to copy and paste it into Facebook. But since I'm going to use this as a scheduled post within Command, I'm actually just going to delete that logo out because it will allow me to add it in myself. So I'm going to rename this Veterans Day. And they do automatically save. I'm just going to hit File Save just to be sure. And then I'm going to click Done. So it's going to put it in there. I'm going to kind of give that a minute. But if I go back to Create, Design, and Social, there are a lot of quick and easy things you can find in here to use as a Facebook post. So you can look under KW app if you want. Maybe you want to try and get people to download your app. These are easy images you can use. Listings, you have coming soon, for sale, just listed. If you want to talk about color mortgage, there's options for that. My phone is blowing up. So definitely take a look at this. And then of course, December, this is the holiday season. So there are tons of things to post for that. You have Christmas, Kwanzaa, the winter solstice. You'll have New Year's coming up. And then you can definitely kind of fill in your Facebook posts around the holidays, just based on whatever you want to do in here. Spring selling season, that's something you want to look into kind of when spring is coming up. That's really it. I definitely recommend exploring this, especially under the lead generation. You have things like KW, my website. There's so many just easy things. Red Day, KW, if you ever want to talk about how awesome Keller Williams is, you can post about that. Definitely explore this. But I am going to X out of that. And I'm going to go into campaigns and make my Veterans Day post. So campaigns are things like Facebook ads, you can do emails, direct mail, but this social post tab, if I click on this, it will show, so I'm on the week of November 7th through 13th, which is what I want. Today's November 11th. So I actually don't know that it's going to let me schedule a post for today, but it'll tell me I have no posts. So I'm just going to hit create campaign, and I'm going to do this as a social post. So I have text already because I cheat ahead of time, and I think that's the hardest part. So there's my text. It will show me the preview on the right side. Since I did this as a design, I can just browse the designs library, and it's going to be my very first one. So if I click on that, it was not ready to use. Okay, we're going to give it a minute. But this is where the DBA logo is optional. So if I didn't like that, I could have just exited out of that. Or, if you want it, you can have it. There was a way to add it onto the actual design. It's kind of just up to you. Come on. Okay. It does kind of take a minute just for it to process. And then you can choose if you want square, wide, and you can rearrange it. So I'm going to crop image there. And I got rid of my logo, so I don't have to choose left or right. And then I can schedule this. So since it is the 11th, let's see if it'll let me schedule it. I'm going to do it for 11 o'clock. And it's connected to my Keller Williams-Fayetteville page. So I'm going to hit schedule post. Schedule post. And then you can see that I have one post for today, Thursday, November 11th. I can also see in the week here. So I can see I have one. I could go ahead if I wanted to, so I don't have to worry about this the day of. I could flip to this week of Thanksgiving, come down to Thursday, November 25th, and go ahead and get my Thanksgiving post scheduled. So I don't have to worry about that. I can spend time with my family. Same thing with Christmas, Hanukkah, holidays, whatever you want to schedule, you can do this ahead of time. So you can definitely, if social media is something that you struggle with, I recommend taking some time, on a Sunday getting your post queued up for the week, and then it's done. You don't have to worry about it. So there's mine at 11 o'clock, it'll just automatically post. So it's kind of cool. You also can use this. You don't have to schedule it. I can hit create campaign and social post, and I can publish it immediately. So you don't have to actually schedule it, but if you want to post directly from here, you can. I think at that point, it's easier to just copy the image as a JPEG and then just paste it into a Facebook post. But whatever, if you want to stay in command, you do have that ability. But I think what this is cool for is the scheduling post feature. So go to my next one. Number 7 is smart plans. So I have a specific class on this, but really just to hit on it, this is how you keep in touch with your contacts. I mentioned earlier neighborhood nurtures. So everything in this smart plans applet is, if you want to play around with these, I strongly recommend going into the library and choosing either this biweekly neighborhood nurture or the quarterly call plan, strictly because the quarterly call plan is the most basic. It just gives you a reminder to call your contacts once every 90 days or whoever you add to the plan. The biweekly neighborhood nurture, as long as you have either their address or a neighborhood added in for them, it will give them live updates of what is listed every 2 weeks. So it is very cool. And then number 8, so this is the last one, and it is just know how to find a referral agent. So you have the entire Keller Williams database like at your hands. So you can find a referral agent in a matter of minutes. No more posting to Facebook, hoping another agent has a recommendation. We see that all the time. And every time I just want to be like, you can go to command and do this, but I don't. But there's an entire referrals applet in command. So if I open that up, you can create a referral network. So I have 15 people. I don't even do real estate, but all of these people added me. But I can go to the map. And so let's say I'm looking for a commercial agent in Dallas. So if I type in Dallas, Texas, where I am right now, there's too many agents. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of agents in Dallas. But if I scroll in a little bit, I'm going to start to get results over here. So right now in just this little area, I have 924 results. If I want to cut my filter on and say, let's say I want a military agent, I can choose that, apply filter. I don't think 924 is right. Let's try this again. I can choose commercial, apply filter. That knocks it down to 17. So right now I have 17 agents to work with if I want a commercial agent in Dallas, Texas, if I have a referral to send to them. I can sort this by closed units, and Ben Kinney, if you're working anywhere in Texas, is usually going to show up. But he has the most closed units out of all of these 17 people. So if I decided that's who I wanted to send my referral to, you kind of have a few options. You can drop down. You have all of his teams, phone number, email, and then there's stats. So I could add him to my referral network by clicking to send him an invitation, or I can just go ahead and send him my referral. He does have to approve it before they get the contact information. And if you're doing this, I still strongly recommend doing a referral agreement just so you have some sort of paper record, just in case. Something else cool you can do if you've narrowed it down to these 17 people, and if that's not enough, I can also scroll out since commercial was like so specific. Oh, we went too far. So now I have 36. So I could click broadcast referral, and I can input the information of the referral and click send broadcast. And basically these people then have the chance to kind of plead their case as to why they should get my referral. So it's kind of a cool option. That way, you don't have to deal with vetting all 36 of these people or really looking into them. You can just broadcast and whoever wants it can kind of have it. But it is very cool. You can also search for market centers. You can look at, let me show you Something else, the referral patterns. If you want a good way to add people to your referral network, if we look at referral patterns, we can see sent and received from Fayetteville. So we're in sent right now. So you can see we send the most of our referrals to Southern Pines, so 4%. We send 3% to Raleigh, Columbia, Asheville, Charlotte, and Greensboro. And then you can see from there, like what gets sent from Greensboro. So Greensboro sends 18% of theirs to Burlington, 3% to Charlotte, and it's just super cool. So what you could do with this, search for Southern Pines, look for those agents and start adding them to your referral network. You can also see received. So we receive 5% of our referrals from Raleigh and Charlotte, 3% from San Antonio, 3% from Wilmington, Fort Mill, Colorado Springs. So it's kind of cool just to look at. And then when you go to dashboard, so say I have 50 people in my referral network. If I have a Las Vegas referral, I would probably start here, type in Las Vegas, see who's in my referral network and send it to one of them. Some options for out of my network will also pop up, but there's no shame in going in and just adding people to your referral network. You've probably had people add you to theirs. If I have 15 people, I know somebody who's actually doing real estate does it. But you can add tags to them. You can send a referral directly to them from here. So it's just super cool. I don't think a lot of people use this applet. There's just a ton in here. But you can keep track of your referrals that you sent and received and kind of see where they are in the process. But still, like I said, I do recommend still doing a referral agreement just so you have paper record. But that is it. Those are my kind of 5 ways to get started in Command and 3 to hopefully make your life a little bit easier. So I'm going to stop the recording.